Okay, let's call the meeting to order. Could you do the roll call?
Go ahead.
Maring.
Here.
Dashlet.
Here.
Bjork.
Here.
Schmidt.
Here.
Wayne Schmidt.
Here.
Slippert.
Here.
Meverden.
Here.
Ortlieb.
Here.
Kevin Schmidt.
Okay, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This meeting is in compliance with the open meeting law. The first item is I would like an approval of the agenda as submitted.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as it's been presented.
Okay. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the agenda is approved as submitted. Okay, public hearing, the residential district zoning amendment. Okay. Now, in public hearing, Matt, do you want to say anything before we ask anybody?
First of all, we open up the public hearing, make a motion to open the public hearing, and then we'll go into the public hearing, yes.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Okay, so could I get a motion to go, to enter into the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to enter into the public hearing.
Okay.
motion by Kevin, second by Lee.
You got a second? Okay. Do you need a roll call?
No,
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, we are in the public hearing then. Okay.
all right, with this being said, this is something that has been a long time waiting. I see Steve Lottenbach is here with us today. And not to throw Steve under the bus, but this is something that when he was on the council that he brought forth and went through the proper chains to change our residential, our zoning 1 through 5 to a 50% instead of the 30. There was always a 30 and then a 15 for an outbuilding to just make it a complete 50%. That's what we have before us. It was posted in the local paper for the public hearing. At this time, Madam Mayor, if you'd like to have anybody that would like to speak under public comment, come up and speak in favor of it or against it before the council would adopt this new ordinance.
Is there anyone in the audience that would like to come forward and talk about this? Does anybody want to come forward? Okay, one more chance. Come forward to talk about the public hearing for the zoning? If not, I mean, just go right into closing it, the public hearing?
You can now
Okay.
close the public hearing.
Okay, could I motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Did you, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, second. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the public hearing is closed. Next item is approval of the minutes to the October 2nd and the October 17th minutes as submitted.
So moved. Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the minutes are approved as written. Public comment. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to talk about something city-related that is not an agenda item? Okay, we do have somebody. Okay, if you could state your name when you're up here.
Yeah, Bruce Bentz, 521 Mill Street. I was here last month and I was listening to that guy who did your audit. And after listening to it, I kind of went home and dug it up on YouTube and listened to it again. As near as I can tell, you guys in 1 year effectively spent $3.8 million. And I couldn't find anywhere to tell me what you spent it on. Normally, when you see somebody spend that kind of money, you see an improvement or vehicles or something around, but I haven't seen anything to account for it. And I would like to know what happened to it or what you spent it on. I know you don't have to, every little penny I don't care about, but $3.8 million doubling the budget, I would like to know what that was spent on. And that's nice to see you're getting Division Road finally done. And the one other thing, you sent out those flyers about the school improvements and stuff. I was wondering, don't you have a built-in budget for repairs at the school? for when they need to do, I know they don't do stuff like roofs and stuff, but wouldn't you have some kind of a part of your budget for repairs there?
I guess a point
So-
of motion, we don't have any responsibility with the school.
Yeah, we don't send out anything for the school.
Oh,
We have
okay.
no budget control over the school district.
All right, I didn't know. I wanted to-
No, that's fine.
Is there anyone else that would like to come forward and talk to the council about an issue? No. Okay, well then we're gonna go on to consideration of bills and credit card payments. If you get a chance to look at the bills, does anybody have any comments or questions on any of them?
Yeah, the one for the county, that $500 and some, is that for deputy help, or what is that for?
For deputy help, for coverage.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, any other questions on the bills? If not, could I get a motion to approve the bills as submitted?
So moved. Second.
Okay, and would you do a roll call on that?
Meverden,
Yes.
Kevin Schmidt,
Yes.
Dashlet,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Wayne Schmidt,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Ortlieb,
Yes.
Whitmer. Yes.
Okay, that passes. Next item is conference attendance. We have information that the police chief would like to attend a conference in Madison.
That's correct. It's a new chiefs association that the chief will be, it's a one-time conference that's completely paid for by the DOJ.
It is actually the DOJ, Department of Justice, new chief and sheriff's training. It's a, getting them up to speed for all the stuff for new chiefs and sheriffs.
Make a motion to approve the training as presented.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Committee reports. Did everyone get a chance to look at the reports? And do anybody have any questions on any of them? If not, I would like a motion to approve the committee reports as presented.
Motion to approve as presented.
I'll second
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, they are approved. Okay, old business. Ordinance 839. Okay. This is the short-term rental, the second reading to it.
That is correct.
Okay. Does anybody have any discussions or anything you want to talk about before we do a roll call vote on it? If not, then could I get a motion to approve the ordinance 839?
So moved. Second.
Okay, and then I would like a roll call on that.
Ortlieb,
Yes.
Kevin Schmidt,
Yes.
Swedberg, Yes. York,
Abstain.
Dashlet,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Wayne Schmidt,
Yes.
Meverden.
Yes.
Okay, the motion carries. Okay, the next item is the CDC grant application request by Economic Development Corp.
And Ben Nelson is here with
Yep.
us tonight.
And come on up, Ben.
Well, while we get the technology sorted out, I just want to apologize for not attending last month's meeting. I emailed all of you afterward. Unfortunately, my son sustained a pretty significant injury playing in the homecoming football game and couldn't walk. So I appreciate everybody's understanding with that. So I have a presentation that is maybe coming up. There we go. So I know annually I like to come before all of the different councils across the county and just kind of highlight some of what we've been working on over the course of the past year. And I know that's kind of a common practice here in Algoma when we seek our investment from the city. So with that, I'll jump into this. I thought it was good to start with who's actually on our board of directors so that you get to know who is kind of driving this ship. So those are our board officers. You can see our chair is John Massler, vice chair Gary Poppy, our treasurer is John Price, and our immediate past chair is Amber Hewitt. Filling out the rest of our board, you can see all the names there. I won't read them all. Representing the city of Algoma on our board is John Pavich, who is in the audience as well. If you know anybody that is interested in joining our board, we also have members that are exiting our board come January. So if you do, send them my way. This is the KC EDC staff, so it's not just myself. We also have an online media manager, Robin Harper, who some of you may know does a lot of work with the chamber and around Algoma. And we have a youth apprentice who does marketing, newsletters, and social media for us as well, and her name is Eva. She is a senior at Luxembourg Casco. Oops. So since I've joined the EDC back in 21, we've gone through significant strategic planning, and this is just a refresher on what our vision, our goals, our mission are. I won't read all that fine print for you. But basically, we're trying to drive economic progress and be a catalyst within our county. So over the course of the past year, these are some of the projects that we've been involved with, undertaken, or led. Probably the biggest one is our BRE program. That is our Business Retention and Expansion Program. So that is basically me going out and interacting with our businesses, identifying what they might need for resources to grow, trying to identify businesses that might be at risk for leaving, and those types of things. So we have, over the course of the last year and a half or so, we've done over 100 BREs representing over 3,000 employees in the county. That obviously includes Algoma. We've partnered with New North to do some different analysis and broadband expansion throughout the county. We've started a program which is on our Facebook page regularly called Workforce Wednesdays. So what we do is we are posting every Wednesday job opportunities that are located within our county. So we're trying to attract more people to live and work here. And the tourism statistics, those are from the past year. We've seen a 26% increase in direct visitor spending, up to $43 million in total, and that is prior to any cruise ships showing up in your city. We also implemented a GROW grant, which helped 2 small businesses in our county. One of the recipients of that was in the city of Algoma. We are part of the contingent that organizes Legislative Days, which is where us and Door County travel to Madison, and usually we pick 5 or 6 important legislative issues and meet with all of our different legislators down at the state level to make them aware and raise awareness of issues that are going on in our region. The Main Street Grant Program wrapped up earlier this year, and this has been a huge success for us. We captured 35% of our region's allotment, so that is Kewaunee County versus 7 other counties in our planning region. So, that translates to just under $2 million that we captured in that program in particular. And roughly about 60%, or it was 62% of those grant recipients were in the city of Algoma. That was about $400,000 worth of investment that went into Algoma businesses. So if you take the remaining 7 counties and the remaining portion of those grants that's left over, that they average 9% for those other 7 counties. So we really led the charge with that. We also revived our Ag Career Days event, which introduces all 7th and 8th grade students throughout not only Kewaunee County, but also we brought in students from Denmark and Southern Door. So we had about 950 students that was at Pagels this year. In 2025, that will be hosted at Ebert's, and that's introducing kids to all the different career fields that touch agriculture. Some of our other economic success we have maintained, these are 5-year statistics. Over the course of the last 5 years, we are seeing an educational attainment increase of 24%, so that's bachelor's degrees or higher in the county, so higher education means higher income. Our median income level is up 16% over that same course of time, and we are regularly producing over $1 million worth of local revenues in sales tax. So if you look at it in terms of actual annual financial impact, the blue is the financial impact that we've had, and the white represents the investment amount that went into our organization. So it's taking that little bar and turning it into a big blue bar is the easiest way to do it. So obviously been very successful with grants, very successful with broadband and local government being tax revenue. And that bottom one, EVA, is economic value add. So I won't get into the mathematics of all of that, but it's taking the investment amount that is contributed to the organization and what does that turn into. So next week we have our first ever Lighthouse launch contest, which will be hosted at Robert Ray, just here on the lakeshore. That is a pitch contest. It's part of a regional competition. So we are partnering with Door County with that, and I think we have 5 or 6, that will be pitching their business, kind of like Shark Tank. And if they are winning, the top 2 pitchers will win a cash award and then go on to compete at a regional competition over near the stadium in Green Bay. So that takes place next week, November 15th. It is open to the public, so if anybody's interested in seeing it in action, they're welcome to attend. And some of the future projects that we are working on, so we're always in a strategic mindset, and these kind of 4 projects are what our board is saying are our biggest priorities right now. I would say probably the top one there is actually housing development. We actually hosted a meeting last week with a number of our private business leaders across the county, and we have a few other ones scheduled. We're working towards significant private sector investment into housing development. So as you all know, development leads to a lot of other things. So we're taking a very proactive approach at that. The nuclear site, which is south of here, is on an accelerated decommissioning timeline. So we are meeting with state regulators as well as the nuclear site managers about that facility and what the potential of that could become. We're always looking to diversify our business throughout our community, so that's another point of our business retention expansion visits. And then we have classified technology. So broadband is usually the one that everybody thinks of, but now in the landscape with AI and things starting to impact industries, we want to stay in front of a lot of those things. So I talked about housing. This has become a strategic focus for the Economic Development Corporation, and why this is important and why we've determined that this is important is of those significant BRE visits that we have had, the number one issue that we have heard over and over again with almost every single person that we have met with is talent is their number one challenge. Access to it, availability, brain drain of students that maybe start in the apprenticeship program but then leave and work for an employer in Green Bay. So what I'm going to walk through here is just some of the statistics that we utilize in determining how to approach this. So this is the annual median income of our county and our neighbors. So we have Brown, Door, and Manitowoc County, and you can see Kewaunee is in the white. We actually have the highest median income in our region. Our home occupancy is also the highest there is as well. These are home units that were available at the start of the year. So you can see, Brown County is an anomaly, but it just shows a representation of where there's actually available housing. So if people are moving into this region, they're most likely going to end up in Brown County, and there's a lot of employers there. So we're competing against that community, whether it's the same size as us. The number of housing development permits that have been issued in the last year, pretty significant difference. What those bars actually represent, Brown County had 1,059, Door County had 384, Manitowoc 108, and our county only had 44. The other conundrum that we face in our county is worker attrition. So what this represents is of the residents of working age in our county, only 53% of them actually work in our county. So we have a net deficit of about 4,000 employees per day. So that is 4,000 people leaving our county that are not getting replaced as they come in. So everything in those statistics points to the need for housing development as a priority. So what we are working on currently with our private sector partners is, obviously housing development is not a flip the switch and you have houses in your backyard. It's a multi-year type of investment, multi-year type of project. We're looking at taking advantage and how we can leverage our TIF and TID districts, which I know is on your agenda tonight. Looking at partnerships with WIDA, public-private partnerships, which is why we're talking to private sector, and obviously there's construction costs that go into that as well. So basically our journey moving forward in why this investment is needed is it provides boots on the ground to have these meetings, facilitate these conversations, represent the county outside of the communities, and have a collaborative, collective vision towards what we're trying to achieve. So with that, that was kind of my presentation. I'm certainly open to any questions that anybody might have. Or if not, then I'll go sit down.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Ben?
How many people do you meet with a month then? Whether they be businesses or people from out of town looking for opportunities, or how many people do you actually talk to a month?
Gosh, I wouldn't, I meet with multiple people almost every single day. So I guess if you figure there's maybe 20 working days in the month, and if I average 2 to 3 a day, you know, you're probably 50 to 60.
Okay.
And some of those are businesses within the county. Some of that is, like a week ago, I was meeting with Progress Lakeshore, which is our equivalent in Manitowoc County. They are making a huge investment in entrepreneurial activity and entrepreneurial training. So we are working on developing a partnership with them to take advantage of some of their entrepreneurial programs. So that we don't have to spend our time and energy on that, and it's leveraging regional resources. So those are some of the different partners that we are chatting with all the time.
Wayne?
Go ahead, Mitch.
What percentage of your revenue comes from the private sector, and what percentage comes from the government entities like the cities and?
In terms of operating revenue, I would say our bylaws have it so that our goal is not to exceed a 60-40 ratio. I would say that's probably, we're probably very close to that. I think the private sector is a little bit higher than 60 currently.
And then when you talked about the amount of money that came into the city of Algoma for the Main Street grants, can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Sure. So each recipient of that, well, and that's not just Main Street grants alone, but Main Street grants were about $10,000 per recipient. So there were a number of Main Street grants that came in for startups in the community, some that took off and went, and others that did not. And then there was also some workforce development grants that were a part of that program as well.
Was that 10,000? Was that from the governor program?
A lot of those were allocated. Well, the Main Street program was an allocation from Governor Evers, and then some of the other ones are through Department of Workforce Development.
And then one final question. Of course, the county keeps talking about housing. You know the project we got going in the city of Algoma. What's the possibility that you're going to be able to help us with that project?
Actually, I sent an email to Matt earlier today to look through that. One of the things that I did was back in September, there was a special meeting on TIF districts and unique workarounds for it that was held in Wausau that I went to specifically with this project in mind. So one of the things that we've learned in that is, and what I messaged Matt about earlier today is, there is ways that you can leverage increments from other districts towards ones that might have a shortfall. But without knowing all the specifics of that, I can't say for sure what that is. But we're working on that.
That's all I got.
Okay. Does anyone else have any
Yeah,
questions?
going back to your Main Street grant program, could you run those numbers by me one more time?
Sure. So with the Main Street grant, we collected about $1.8 million of the allotment.
Okay. All right, keep going.
Yeah, okay. And then roughly within that program specifically, 62% of those funds were funneled into Algoma businesses or businesses with an Algoma address on their application.
And that amount was?
That amount, I don't have it written down in front of me, but I want to say it was in the 400,000 range.
Okay. You gotta work on your math a little bit.
Well, the 62% of all grants that came in includes the Department of Workforce Development grants.
No, I understand. But if 60% of 1.8 million went into Algoma, it's not $400,000. It's more like almost $700,000. So
Right,
gotta-
I apologize. The 60% of all grants includes the workforce development grant. So
Okay.
the difference, maybe I misspoke
Okay.
there. I apologize.
Okay.
So the 60% is of total grants, not just Main Street. Sorry.
I was just trying to.
No, I'm glad you point that out.
Trying to keep the numbers square.
Absolutely. I want to make sure that we're clear.
Okay.
Are those financial is there the financial breakdown of the roughly $400,000 that directly impacted the community? That's what you're saying, right, Ben? It is roughly 400.
It supported a business within the community. Yes.
Just out of curiosity, is that like financial breakdown? Is that something that's generally passed along, or is it available? So we can actually see.
There was a there was a map of specifically the Main Street program through Bay Lakes Regional Planning Commission. They had a breakdown on their website. They stopped updating it towards the tail end of the program, so I don't know that everyone is captured there, and I don't know if it's still on their website. But if you look at Bay Lakes, you should be able to see where the recipients were. And I don't remember if it names the specific business or if it just says the community.
You can do an open records request, and the specific recipients all would be listed. So like that, the information is available.
Because ultimately, yeah, Bay Lakes Planning Commission was the ultimate, they made the final decision on whether to issue the grants. They were our region's facilitator. The KCEDC, the Algoma Chamber, the Kewanee Chamber could write the letters of support or the authorization letters for that. So there may be some that I'm not even aware of that the Chamber did as well.
And is the dollar amount as far as the for the grant program, the dollar amount from the community investment or the municipalities, is that like percentage based? Is it based off population? Is it a flat fee?
In terms of what the investment amount is?
Correct, yeah. Is every community pitching in $5,000, or is it based off of community size?
Yeah, I will say in terms of municipality, Algoma contributes the most, probably just because they're larger, but other communities are investors as well. The city of Kewanee is, town of Pierce, town of Anape.
What is that dollar amount? I mean, is that, where does it, how is it agreed upon, I guess, is the question.
There's not a lot of rhyme or reason to it. You know, what we try to strive for is if we're dealing with a private sector business, we try and look at what is their annual revenues in terms of employee headcounts, with municipalities, we tend to look more at their population size as kind of that metric. So if we were to consider the city of Algoma as a employer, well, they are an employer, but if the city itself was a company per se, that's kind of where those numbers originated from. And I guess since it's always just been that level since I've been with the EDC, so that's just our automatic request.
Okay, thank you.
Ben, what does the county contribute? Does the county still have a large portion of it?
The county is our top investor on an annual basis, and that they annually contribute about $40,000. So that's my meeting tomorrow night.
Appreciate the breakdown, Ben, and you coming in. Hopefully everything at home with the son is doing better.
He's doing better. He's on crutches, and their football team is one game away from state right now. So he's excited, even though he can't play. But thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Ben? Not, then we'll move on to the grant application request. We need a motion to,
Yes, we'd be looking for a motion. If you want to go solely off his request, everybody has that in their packet that he originally asked through the CDC. That's part of everybody's packet, is for $5,000 or whatever the council's wishes are.
I'd make a motion to approve the $5,000.
okay, we got a motion and a second, then could you do a roll call?
Dashlet,
Yes.
Ortlieb,
Yes.
Berg,
Yes.
Mehring, Weinschmidt,
No.
Swedberg,
Yes.
Lumberton,
Yes.
Kevin Schmidt.
Okay. The motion does pass, okay. And we'll move on to new business. The first item, residential district zoning code amendment.
This was the public hearing that we had. Everybody has it before you, so we would be looking for a motion to adopt and change the ordinance unless anybody has any questions.
Matt?
Yes.
On your flow chart here, one question for you. On your R1 and R2, your minimum living area is 1,200 square feet. Why is your R3 1,000 square feet? Why aren't they the same?
That is a great question.
I would think they should be the same. And I know this comes out of planning, but I was just trying to,
Oh, if I may make a
Yeah.
guess.
yeah.
I would guess that it has something to do with the lot size based on this chart. If you look at it, R1 and R2, R1 is half an acre, R2 is 10,000 square feet, and R3 is 5,000 square feet on the lot size. So that would account for the variance in the residential size on a 5,000 square foot lot.
Okay. That's the only question I had. It just didn't make any sense.
Are there any other questions?
Am I interpreting that chart correctly, Matt?
You're interpreting it correctly. If that's the reason for why it was adopted that way, though, I can't answer that. And we'd have to go back and look
Well,
to see why it was
yeah,
put into
Because when,
zoning this way.
you know, what Jake's talking about, he's talking R1 is a half acre and
Yep.
R2 is 10,000 square feet, and there you have 1,200 square feet.
Correct.
So 5,000 square feet is half of that, and
Mhm.
you've got 1,000,
No,
which I guess that's the only part when I read through it that, I'm not against it, it just didn't make any sense to me. So,
Okay, any other questions about it? Then could we get a motion to adopt the residential district zoning code amendment? A motion or a second?
I will have a question after there's a second.
Second.
question that I
Okay,
have
and then
after a
we do
second.
a roll call.
Hang on, discussion.
Jake's got his question.
There's question after the
discussion.
second.
Oh, discussion.
Question that I have after the second, and it doesn't indicate it in the ordinance itself that I can see. None of the setbacks, frontage setback, lot side setbacks and that sort of thing are affected, is that correct?
That is correct. The setbacks, because of we're changing the lot size area that you can develop, it does not change the setbacks. So if
Okay.
you have a 25-foot setback, it doesn't give you the right to go within that 25 or 6-foot setback.
Okay,
That is not changing.
okay, all right. I just wanted to verify that that was the way we were,
You are correct.
okay. All right. I've answered my question after the motion.
Okay.
Waring,
Yes.
Dashlet,
Yes.
Wayne-Schmidt,
Yes.
Kevin Schmidt, Memberton,
Yes.
Swedberg,
Yes.
Buer,
Yes.
Farley.
Yes.
The ordinance passes. Then next thing is the budget amendment resolution. And everybody should have a copy of what the first one would be.
Everybody has that before you. Everybody, it wasn't attached to your packet, but Exhibit A is in front of everybody, or they grabbed it.
Okay, are there any questions about it? If not, could I get a motion to approve them?
Oh, yeah, I do. The carryover from the finish layer on Division Street will be reflected with a carryover from this year to next year?
That is correct, Jake, because we're doing a multi-year project, it's bid out for, there will not be a closeout for 2024. It'll be pay app number 3, and then we'll move in next year to pay app number 4. And
Okay.
the closeout will not come till 2024.
But the funds that were set aside for the entire project will carry forward?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. Any other questions? Could I get a motion to approve the budget amendment resolution?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Oh, I'll second.
Okay, John second. Would you do a roll call on that?
Swedberg,
Yes.
Kevin Schmidt,
Yes.
Dashlet,
Yes.
Waring,
Yes.
Memberton,
Yes.
Wayne-Schmidt,
No.
Buer,
Yes.
Farley.
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes. Okay, the 2024 budget resolution. Are there any questions on that? Not, then could I get a motion to approve the budget resolution 1176, 2023? Okay. Nobody's making motion. Is there questions on it that we're not making motions?
I think I made myself clear when we had the budget workshop, so I have no further comments, so.
Motion.
Yes. Okay.
I'll second.
Question, do we have, and this would be a thumbs up from Amber in the control room, I would suspect. Do we have final numbers from NWTC or the school district?
I think NWTC we do. Amber, the school district has all their numbers over here. I think the only one that's adopting their budget tomorrow is the county.
Right, so we don't know what the county is that correct? So this is best guess. Amber's gonna come out.
So what you're adopting is the city's levy only. You do not adopt the school levies or the county levies. They adopt their own. So what's on your resolution is only the city's portion of the levy.
Okay.
Are there any other questions?
Nope. I'm good.
Okay, so then, do we have a motion to go forward?
Casey made the motion.
Okay,
This
and we have
motion
a
by Casey, second by John.
John, okay, and there's no more discussion, then could you do a roll call?
Yes. Memberton,
Yes.
Ortlieb,
Yes.
Dashlet,
Yes.
Swedberg,
Yes.
Buer,
Yes.
Wayne Schmidt,
No.
Kevin Schmidt,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Passes. Next thing is the 2024 fee schedule, Resolution 1177, 2023. Any discussion on that? You all have the very detailed fee schedule in your packet, so. Are there any questions? If not, could I get a motion to approve that fee schedule for 2024?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. There's no other discussion, I'd like a roll call on that.
Kevin Schmidt,
Yes.
Wayne Schmidt,
Yes.
Swedberg,
Yes.
Buer,
Yes.
Ortlieb,
Yes.
Dashlet,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Memberton,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Okay, next item is the RDA Tax Increment District Number 4, Creation of Resolution 1178, 2023. Any discussion on that? Okay, then could I get a motion to approve that?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Okay. And then would you do a roll call on that one?
Buer,
Yes.
Ortlieb,
Yes.
Kevin Schmidt,
Yes.
Dashlet,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Swedberg,
Yes.
Memberton,
Yes.
Wayne Schmidt.
Yes.
Then the next item is the squad purchase, Resolution 1179, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Did somebody make a motion?
Yep.
Okay, and a second, okay. We'll do a roll call on that.
Kevin Schmidt,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Wayne Schmidt,
Yes.
Memberton,
Yes.
Buer,
Yes.
Ortlieb,
Yes.
Swedberg,
Yes.
Dashlet,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Okay, next one is the Going Garbage Recycling Contract Resolution 1180, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, are there any questions? If not, we'll do a roll call on that.
Swedberg,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Wayne Schmidt,
Yes.
Buer,
Yes.
Ortlieb,
Yes.
Kevin Schmidt, Memberton,
Yes.
Dashlet,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Okay, the next one is the Garbage Recycling Ordinance 841.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and second.
Is, question.
You
is
want to do
this-
a roll call on that?
Question?
Point of order.
Oh, you've got a question?
Is this the first reading?
This would be the first reading of this, that is correct. Unless the council would so decide to waive the first reading and move right to it, that would have to change the motion then. But there is no hurry to adopt it, it will not become effective,
Yeah.
till January 1st with under the new going garbage, so there is no hurry, there's no reason why there can't be a second reading of it.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any more questions? If not, would you do a roll call?
But just a
Wait.
point of order, clarification here.
It's the first reading.
You're rescinding it to the first reading? Okay, so this will be the first reading?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that motion and then Jake, or I'm sorry, did you, or
No,
Lee?
I didn't second.
I'm sorry, Midge, I apologize.
Yep.
You're okay with that?
Yes.
That's,
Rescind.
you're seconding this, okay,
As a first reading.
as a first reading,
reading.
It's the
thank you.
first reading. Okay,
All right.
we need a roll call.
Dashlet,
Yes.
Swedberg,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Ortlieb,
Yes.
Buer,
Yes.
Kevin Schmidt, Wayne Schmidt,
Yes.
Memberton,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Next item is the EMS Fire Rescue Agreement with the Townships, Resolution 1181, 2023.
So
Is there any
moved.
discussion on that?
Second.
Was the first by Jake?
Yes.
Second by Casey, thank you.
And these are for all three townships, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. If there's no other questions, then we can do a roll call on that.
Wayne Schmidt,
Yes.
Waring,
Yes.
Dashlet,
Yes.
Meverden,
Yes.
Ortlieb,
Yes.
Kevin Schmidt, Buick,
Yes.
Swedberg,
Yes. Okay, that passes. Okay, next is a motion to accept the receipt of the Algoma Utilities budget. You should all have that on your desk. So, are there any questions about that?
This is for 2024, is that correct?
That is correct, starting January 1st for their 2024 budget.
May I move that we suspend or motion on this until next month? Does that affect anything?
Well, their charter ordinance, we have to have a meeting with them by the 20th
Of this month?
of this month.
Okay.
By their charter ordinance. So
All right.
to push it back for another month,
Okay. No,
That would not-
then I withdraw the motion.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Okay, so we have a motion, a second. We can do a roll call.
I'm sorry, was it second?
there's not a second.
There's
Jake
not a
made a
second yet?
motion.
Okay,
I'm sorry, I apologize. Casey made a motion.
yeah. Okay, and is there a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Mitch. Okay, and do a roll call on this one.
Kevin Schmidt,
This budget is very hard to read, because every time you turn your eye on your phone, it spins 10 different directions. No.
Ortlieb,
Yes.
Meverden,
Yes.
Swedberg,
Yes.
Wayne Schmidt,
No.
Buick,
Yes.
Dashlet,
No.
Waring,
No.
It's 4-4, Madam Mayor.
Okay, well, I will break the tie and say yes.
Okay.
Okay, then, the next item is the charter ordinance for the primary election. You wanna tell us what that's,
Yes, right now, currently, we do not have, obviously, papers can't be withdrawn for anybody to run for a public office seat, whether it's city council or the mayor. To run for public office, we do not have a ordinance in place. So right now, the council could make a decision every time there would be an election. There's a time frame between receiving, if there would be one open seat and 2 or more people running for that, we could so choose to not have a primary election and go right to the general spring election, okay? What this would do is put a charter ordinance in place to say anytime that there's 2 or more people running for a seat, I'm sorry, 3 people, I apologize, 3 people running for a seat, we would automatically then have a primary election, okay? So to use a seat, if there's a council seat open and 3 people are running for it and we wouldn't have a primary, that person could win that seat by not even 50% of the votes. So this would automatically put in place that if there were 3 people, we would then have a general election.
so we could incur a cost of doing primary, or would we normally be doing an election that day anyway?
No, there could be a February election that there's
Yeah.
nothing on the primary.
So there
It's-
could be some cost associated with this decision.
There could be some cost associated with it if it would ever happen. I don't believe it's ever happened to date, looking back.
Yeah.
And because you've never had a February election primary for
Yeah.
the spring generals, I'm assuming it never has,
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
We rarely get a second candidate, so the third might be a miracle.
Yeah,
So we have a motion and a second to do the primary? Is that what I heard
no.
you say?
No, but I'd make a motion to accept or to put this in place, ordinance 20.
I'll second.
What are we just, what we're doing is we just kind of, it's a CYA.
that is correct. More or less, this would be if there would ever be anybody, there would never be a February election unless there were, if this was so adopted, it then would take place.
So we would have the expense of for a council seat specifically, Or would this include county? Does this include
This
just
would-
city?
This would just be the city elected officials, public office seats in the city of Algoma. So 8 council members and the mayor's seat is
So we're
all
gonna
that
have
this would
primary
affect.
anyway in
The
February,
county
so-
already does have a ordinance that says if, theirs reads a little different because there's so many county board members, I think, that are like county as a whole elected.
Good.
Okay, so do we have a motion and a second? Okay, then let's do a roll call on that.
Mering,
Yes.
Buick,
Yes.
Weinschmidt,
Yes.
Swedberg,
Yes.
Ortlieb,
No.
Meverden,
Yes.
Kevin Schmidt,
Yes.
Dashlet,
Yes.
We move on to administrators report.
Just a couple of things. I know we've had some time here to pass, and I don't think I've ever done it, but I just want to thank everybody, all the city staff, the public works guys, Casey, the crew down at the street shop, city staff here, for all the cruise ship work that's taken place, and special to everybody at the Algoma Chamber, that the time that they spent down there. I think they've, spent a lot of time every day, all day long, but our crew behind the scenes that probably nobody got to see early in the morning, later at night, the paperwork planning behind this that Casey took care of, I just want to say thank you to everybody that's, put another, I guess, foot forward to make this happen. I thought that it was a very successful year. So that's all I have in that. I just wanted to say thank you. Update 2023-2024 utility street project. I think everybody probably already knows, but that road was binder coated today. Summers, the concrete guys will be back here tomorrow morning. They're scheduled, they were supposed to be here today. They're now gonna be here tomorrow morning. There's a lot of pickup to be done down there, some plastic and different things. There is some sweeping that Northeast has to come and do, clean up some intersection work and some curbing and stuff like that. And then Wednesday morning, we have all of our signs will go back in. Peters will be coming, stop signs, street signs, all of our poles on that work will take place. I think by Wednesday afternoon, everything should be pretty much wrapped up though for the year from Fremont going south. Starting in spring, just a reminder, from Fremont going north all the way to Navarino. That project will start, weather permitting. We're hoping April, but I think everybody around here knows what April can be. We could have frost in the ground. I think the easiest way to explain that work will start as soon as the frost comes out of the ground. That work will be completed all the way to Navarino Street. Stormwater, sanitary sewer, water, new curb, new sidewalk, new gutter. And then they will binder coat blacktop from Fremont going all the way to Navarino. And when that's complete, then they will come back and put the final mat on everything. Depending on when they could get started or when I'm assuming late July, early August, they would come and final mat the whole project. So that is where that is at. Garbage and recycling changes. Everybody in the mail today, tomorrow has gotten a letter from the city. If you're a residential home, I think everybody has the letter in their packet as well. It's pretty self-explanatory. You put out your bins the last collection date in December. We are working with GFL of what days, if they're gonna be following the garbage and recycling truck, picking up all of their bins. And probably the week or two before that, city staff working with Going Garbage will be putting out all the new garbage and recycling bins. You will be getting a 96-gallon garbage bin, a 96-gallon recycling bin. So there might be a week and a half, 2-week time period that you will have both bins. Please, everybody, and it states this in the letter, continue to use your GFL garbage and recycling bin till the first garbage pickup after January 1st. I think it's January 3rd because of the holiday. Garbage and recycling with Going Garbage will be every Tuesday, but that first pickup is on a Wednesday because of the New Year's holiday. All right? So just kind of FYI, we'll continue to update. We'll continue to take phone calls here at City Hall. In that letter, it also states if you have a building with 4 units or less, to try to minimize how many bins those units actually need. We have some places right now where we have 4 garbage bins and 4 recycling bins because it is a 4-unit complex, but they're only using 1 or 2 sets of those. We're asking that you call here at City Hall so we can get you what you need, not just replace in kind what you've had and not using. So, the treasurer's position, we have 3 applicants. That closed on the first of the month here at 4 p.m. We will be vetting those here probably mid to late week and setting up interviews, how we're going to approach that. We'll keep the whole council informed of the direction we're gonna go on that. So, and election, there will be no fall election. If everybody looks on their calendar, it's posted for an election. There is not a fall election here at City Hall. A lot of phone calls last week because nobody got a ballot because there is no election. In the calendar, it says or shows that it is an election day, and it is. Not here, there is no election in Kewaunee County for this fall. So anything, if there would be a primary, that would be February's election. So candidates' papers for the spring general election can be circulated no earlier than December 1st. The clerk is not at the meeting here tonight, but she will have packets put together for anybody that is interested in running for city council. You can pick those up prior to, but you cannot circulate those papers prior to December 1st. That is state statute. So just a reminder that those will be put together here. She will probably have them later this month all taken care of for packets that anybody that's up for election or anybody that wishes to run for election. That is all I have unless anybody has any questions for me.
Has any questions for Matt? Then we go into mayor's appointments. As of today, I don't have any appointments, but I was notified that somebody on a committee would like to be replaced. So next month I will have an appointment that I will be making. Our next agenda, if you have anything that needs to be on the meeting for December, please let Matt or Aaron know to get it on the agenda. And our meeting is scheduled for December 4th at 6 p.m.
Madam Mayor,
Yes?
could I ask what committee is available in case somebody's watching is interested?
The CDC, and was it the Board of Appeals? Was that in Board of Appeals?
Border review.
Board of Review.
Border review and
Yes,
CDC.
yes.
There is a spot
Yes,
open.
yes, we have a member that's too ill to continue on, and he would like to be off,
There
so.
might be somebody watching that
Yep,
has
no,
some
thank you.
interest. Okay.
If you're interested, let City Hall know or let me know, and we will definitely consider that, so. Okay, anything else to come before the council? Not, could I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? All in favor, say aye.
Right?
Opposed? Hearing none, we are adjourned.